Hello there, football fans. I'm Dave Davies. We're here to talk a little bit of football, okay? It's week one. We're going into it. We're going to talk about some games. We're going to pick them all. We're going to do the damn thing, all right? Now, before we get started, I find this fitting that we begin this year with last year. The Carolina Panthers played the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. All of last year, I screamed to everybody, the Carolina Panthers are a second-tier team. They had two quality wins on the entire schedule. You look it up if you want to. They were down 10 in the fourth quarter to Seattle, and they beat Romo in his comeback game with Dallas. Other than that, there's 15 wins. Two of them were any good. Totally second tier. Good defense, inconsistent quarterback play. Oh, watch out for Cam Newton. Cam Newton. So they go into this year and they play seventh round, zero snap, numbnuts, Northwestern quarterback Trevor Siemian and lose. I mean, I hate to say it's kind of embarrassing. You walk into this thing as a top three defense, a team that's best in the league, ready to win a Super Bowl, and you lose to that guy. You know, a 53-man game, but regardless, he was the quarterback of the other team and you lost. So, sorry, Carolina. Way to start the season on a high note there. So, let us get into this. Do the damn thing, all right? First of all, I'm a firm believer in the preseason. A lot of people don't watch preseason. They just listen to ESPN and do whatever ESPN tells them to do. Thus, the guys that drafted Thomas Rawls in the third round because he's the Seattle starting running back. If you watch the preseason, you know that Christine Michelle is the starting running back of the Seattle Seahawks. They will be hosting the Miami Dolphins tomorrow. It's going to get ugly. Unfortunately, I don't have enough words in my vocabulary to discuss my distaste of Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill went 7-5 at Texas A&M. Ryan Tannehill should have never been drafted at number 17 to Miami. Ryan Tannehill has been a reach, and they gave this guy $50 million. There's not a day in that's ever going to happen in our existence that Ryan Tannehill walks into Seattle and wins a football game. Unfortunately, as good as the defensive line looks on paper for Miami, they're just not all the same people they used to be or could be. It's going to be bad. Seattle's going to blossom. Russell Wilson's going to turn into the greatest quarterback in the league that's not named Aaron Rodgers. So, let's move on from that massacre. Let's see, we have Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Tampa Bay, yes, young, up and coming, famous famous Winston. Going to be a good player. He's the next Ben Roethlisberger. Big, strong, dumb as a rock, hard to take down, strong arm. He's going to win a Super Bowl one day. Tampa Bay's on the rise. Atlanta has been bringing the same thing to the table every day for the last 5-8 years, whatever. Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's the guy that throws the pick on the 6-yard line. Atlanta, Desmond Trufant, one of the best quarters in the game. Keep an eye out for Desmond Trufant. They got a defensive coach, the guy from Seattle. It's been a couple of years, but not liking what they're doing. I like Tampa Bay on the road. We got Minnesota at Tennessee. Minnesota. Teddy B's knee went all Houdini on it and disappeared on us. It's unfortunate. They'll be starting Sean Hill tomorrow. You'll best remember as one of the quarterbacks of the 2009 Detroit Lions that didn't win a game. Playing Tennessee Titans, who, you know, it's amazing. Like a couple of months ago, you're thinking nothing, and all of a sudden you see Derrick Henry and you see that running game and all that money into the offensive line, and you're like, Tennessee. And they're still starting a 160-pound quarterback. But, you know, unfortunately with Sean Hill, as much as I like the Vikings and as much as I like them going forward, the Tennessee Titans are going to probably pull this one off. Cleveland Browns, baby, let's go. I love me some Cleveland Browns. Again, a couple months ago, nothing. And all of a sudden, you got a whole bunch of receivers and a rejuvenated RG3 and a head coach that knows what he's doing and a running game that's kind of formidable, and you still have the best left tackle in the game. Playing Philly, which is, at this moment, because of Chip Kelly and that disaster, a top 3 worst team in the league. I mean, unfortunately, they're going to have to take 2 steps backwards to go 1 step forward. But they got a number 1 draft pick for no-knees Bradford, so they'll be okay going forward. But Cleveland's going to win in Philly. Cincinnati at the Jets. See, this is when things get tough. The NFL is never what you think it's going to be. That's why it's so awesome. It's a soap opera, you know? Every year is different. You never see that one coming. Cincinnati at the Jets. They're both strong. I like them both. The defense is ridiculous. Jets have the hardest schedule in the history of football. Fitzpatrick, baby. I like what they were doing last year. A little bit of Brandon Marshall, a little bit of Jets are going to win at home. The Raiders at New Orleans. The Raiders. Everybody's anointing them as the Super Bowl champion. They're the next team. Everything's going to be great. Yeah, the Raiders are the best player in football. They have Khalil Mack. They have a quarterback threw a lot of touchdowns last year. 35, still more than Eli Manning. We'll get to that later. But the Raiders, I mean, they're one of those teams. They're 2 years away. You get a couple of talented players, doesn't mean you're ready to win the division and win the Super Bowl. You don't go from 7 and 8 wins to winning the division and winning playoff games. It doesn't work that way. So the Raiders are on the rise. And again, Khalil Mack. I mean, but New Orleans has been getting kicked around. Anybody that remembers football knows that a couple of years ago, Seattle bitch slapped New Orleans really badly, and they never really recovered from that. Jimmy Graham ended up moving on. The team just fell apart. The defense, the salary cap, the whole nine. New Orleans is tired of getting kicked around. They're bringing one more shot to the table. New Orleans is beating the Raiders. San Diego at Kansas City. I've been looking at this game. Now, it's not that San Diego's bringing anything special to the table other than Philip Rivers, hucking, chucking football. God bless America. But the Kansas City Chiefs. No Justin Houston. Tom Ali hasn't taken a rep yet. D Ford hasn't developed. The pass rush isn't there. You have Marcus Peters, who 10 interceptions last year, but was also one of the most beat corners in the league. They lost the other corner, who wasn't much, but he was better than what they have now. They have Eric Berry problems. The defense isn't what people believe, know the Kansas City defense to be. And the offense, while I like better this year than I liked last year, still isn't going to go burning up the tires and scoring 30 points a game. It's not going to happen. I like San Diego in the upset. Buffalo at Baltimore. Baltimore has a ridiculous defense. Well, if healthy. If T. Sizzle's healthy, Dumerville's banged up. They got Mosley. The defense is nice. They have zero on offense. They have Joe Flacco, and who gives a shit? Who's who at running back? Terrence West, Justin Forsett. Who cares? Baltimore has zero to offer on offense. Buffalo has Tyrod Taylor. Buffalo fell apart before this thing even got started. They've lost 4 starters on defense, 4 or 5. They're just falling apart everywhere. Still got Shady McCoy. Still got the talented, but I don't really like him, Sammy Watkins. I like Buffalo. Buffalo's going to beat Baltimore. Chicago at Houston. Jay Cutler. One time I got bored and I asked Google, how far can Jay Cutler throw a football? And Google's most popular answer was 10 yards past the nearest open receiver. That about sums up Jay Cutler. Kevin White can't do anything but run straight and really fast. He's an ex-Ted Ginn Jr. He can't run a route. They're starting a numbnuts running back, replacing Forte. It's all just bad. Chicago ain't bringing a lot to the table right now. While Brock Osweiler ain't much of much, he got $10 million per win in the NFL. God, I should have learned how to throw a football. Houston Texans are the best 53-man roster in the NFL. That's what, the average football ESPN guy doesn't understand. If you look at the Houston Texans, they are ridiculous. If this guy, Brock Osweiler, can play even a little bit, they're going to be something very formidable. Something that might be able to challenge the Hillary Clinton that is the New England Patriots. So, what do we got here? Green Bay at Jacksonville. Jalen Ramsey, baby. First round pick. This guy is so confident. He comes out and says, if Aaron Rodgers wants to throw at me, I give him the best chance. Are you kidding? You're going to have a lot of fights in your career. Hopefully a lot, because you appear to be a very good player. But let me tell you something, that your first fight in the NFL shouldn't be with Aaron Rodgers. He is going to find you, he's going to burn you, and he's going to embarrass you. As good as the Jacksonville Jaguars look going forward, starting in week 1, bro, you single-handedly made Aaron Rodgers beat the crap out of you. Congratulations, you are responsible for the loss. Green Bay wins. We've already talked about Miami, Seattle, Miami. What? Ryan Tannehill, $50 million. The New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, they're very formidable. Strong offensive line. They got that brand new little toy at running back. They got a wide receiver that doesn't get messed around by anybody. I like the Dallas Cowboys offensively are one of the strongest teams in the NFL. With that being said, Dak Prescott has stellar as he may have looked in the preseason, well, I have mentioned the preseason earlier that the opposite applies for quarterbacks. In the preseason, quarterbacks play very vanilla defenses. They're not seeing complex schemes. They're not going against anything that they would see in the regular season. I mean, Dak Prescott had some very impressive throws. He looked good, but at the end of the day, he's a rookie numbnuts quarterback playing the New York Giants, who just put $5 billion into their defense. They're bringing Olivier Vernon and Janoris Jenkins. They got all kinds of new people out there. But at the end of the day, it's still old 31 career high touchdown Eli Manning. Eli Manning threw 31 touchdowns last year, his career high. Blake Bortles threw 35. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, after 93 years in the NFL, Eli Manning hits 31, and Blake Bortles beats him in 2. Eli Manning might be the most overrated thing in sports that's not named Dwayne Wade. The Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game. Okay, like I like the scheme. I like the team. I like it better. The one game I don't care about, the Detroit Lions and the Indianapolis Colts. I care about all games. But this game, Detroit does not have Megatron, which means that I no longer care about them. I didn't care about them after Barry Sanders until Megatron got there, and now he's gone. I don't care about them again. Anquan Bolden is 82 years old. He's playing wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. They have Krispy Kreme, Golden Tate. He likes to steal donuts. But, I mean, Matt Stafford can barely read. I mean, I don't like anything of it. Andrew Luck is overrated. I mean, he's a second-tier quarterback. He's a turnover machine. He was never allowed to develop because they put the whole team on his back. Here, you take a Russell Wilson, and you take a guy who has a beast mode, and he has a defense, and please develop at a snail's pace because you can just hand the ball to that guy, and you can get better as you see fit. And then you have an Andrew Luck. And Andrew Luck where, hey, buddy, here's the entire team on your back. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And Andrew Luck is the same player now that he was when he got drafted. And he was never allowed to get better. And the Indianapolis Colts are like the shittiest organization in football. Please excuse the language, but they totally deserve that. And they never built anything around this guy. They overplayed the wrong players. It's all bad for the Indianapolis Colts. That being said, they're still going to beat the Detroit Lions. I don't see Indianapolis winning more than 7 games this year, max. But they're going to still beat Detroit. No Megatron, no. Here's the one. You ready for this one? The New England Patriots and the Arizona Cardinals. I like this game so much. The Cardinals look like a 13-win team. They look like a 17-win team. Like, they're the best damn team in football. And like I told you before, things happen in the NFL every year, and nobody sees them coming. If they did, then we wouldn't be so interested in it. But with the Arizona Cardinals, something's wrong. And I'm going to tell you right now that something wrong is Carson Palmer. Like, Carson Palmer is a waste of life, and he will always, be the detriment to the Arizona Cardinals and to any team that he plays for. But something's wrong with the Arizona Cardinals. The New England Patriots don't have Tom Brady. They don't have Rob Gronkowski. They don't have 2 offensive linemen. They're all kinds of depleted. The Arizona Cardinals should win this game by 30 points. Like, they should just blow them out. The New England Patriots are going to win this game. Coup de grace. Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh at Washington. Kirk Cousins didn't beat a team with a winning record last year. Kirk Cousins looks good for fantasy, doesn't look good for life. Washington Redskins are pretty rudimentary. They got Jordan Reed. I mean, they're not bringing a lot to the table defensively. There's not a lot going on with the Washington Redskins. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a juggernaut. They've gotten better on defense, which is scary because their offense is scary when healthy and on the field. Marcus Wheaton ain't playing. But Pittsburgh Steelers are winning this game pretty handily. And the other game that nobody cares about, the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher, the head coach of the LA Rams, used to be St. Louis Rams. Jeff Fisher is not a very good coach. Jeff Fisher has had 3 winning seasons as a head coach in the NFL, even though he's been coaching in the league since I was in high school, it seems like. Probably true, actually. Jeff Fisher tried to save his job by drafting a quarterback at number 1, and he drafted Jared Goff, who had a losing record in college. So you're going to explain to me how that translates into being Peyton Manning, into being what a number 1 pick should be. It's just all bad for the St. Louis Rams right now. Poor Todd Gurley is going to be stuck with 12 people in the boxes. Even one of the referees is going to try to tackle him because nobody is going to expect Case Keenum to beat him from more than 7 yards deep. And on the other side is Blaine Gabbert in the Niners. Blaine Gabbert, the guy most famously known for throwing a football backwards because he is that bad. And his backup, Colin Kaepernick, who I don't give a shit if he dances naked eating kebabs during the national anthem, couldn't beat Blaine Gabbert for the job. So it's all bad. Niners win. So, well, with that being said, enjoy your football. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good day.